Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Ayan. I'm currently working as a DevOps engineer at OpsMx. And today we will be demonstrating the blue-green deployment process using our intelligent software delivery platform, um, or ISD in short. Now, we know that blue-green deployment strategy, it's a process which allows seamless application updates with zero downtime. And it's a technique to release software by shifting traffic between two identical environments. So let's say a blue environment, which is the current environment, and a green environment, which is, of course, the new environment. Now, our application of choice for this demo is the popular Nginx Ingress. Now, before I move to our product screen, the screen that we are currently on, it's our official website, and we see a blog on a blue-green deployment. We have several such blogs available. So if you're interested, I would highly recommend that you visit our website, OpsMx.com. So this is how our ISD looks. This is the login screen. I am going to quickly log in here, and I have the admin credentials and they are already saved. So once I enter and give a go, this is the welcome screen that we have. It lists the total number of applications, the deployments that has been done so far, the number of pipeline failures that has happened, and the intelligent gates that we offer, like approvals, policy, and verifications. Those, if configured in a pipeline, and if there are any failures or any issues with that, the same can be viewed in the welcome screen as well. Now, this is our app, the Blueprint Deploy app, which we will be using for our demo. Now, before we do that, we of course have to know that we are doing a deployment. However, where is this deployment taking place? So for our case, we are deploying two target clusters that are configured in Oracle Cloud. Now, we can go ahead and integrate ISD with Oracle. However, for the demo purpose, because we have configured Oracle Managed Kubernetes Service through which we can get a kubeconfig file, and we can use that to go ahead and configure a Kubernetes account directly using our ISD platform. Now, when we are using this Kubernetes account, we do not have to separately go ahead and pass any OCI token. All we have to do is pass the kubeconfig account to go ahead and set it up. I will just quickly give you an overview. So if we go to setup and cloud targets, as I said, as this is a Kubernetes account, we have quickly went ahead and set up this particular Kubernetes accounts, which are hosted in Oracle Cloud using the kubeconfig file that we have got from the Oracle Cloud itself. Now, how do we confirm that this particular Kubernetes account that we have configured, this is in Oracle Cloud and not any other cloud? So let me quickly go to the Cloud Console of Oracle. So this is the cluster that we have. And let me go to the node pools that are available. So we have currently 3 nodes running. Let me go ahead and see the private IPs of these particular nodes. Let me now go to the backend and use that particular kubeconfig file to go ahead and access the Kubernetes cluster. So the new neom.config that we see, that is the kubeconfig file of this particular Kubernetes cluster. Now, let me see what are the nodes that are available. So if I do a get node, if uh, if we observe the IPs that are available for this particular config matches with the IPs that are available in our Oracle Cloud as well. So we can also see the namespaces that we have used to configure the pipeline. So these are the namespaces we have used to configure the pipeline in our ISD. We are seeing it at the backend here, but we will definitely go ahead and see this thing in our ISD platform as well. And then we will again verify that this is the same namespace that is available at the backend and at the UI, and they are available in Oracle cluster and not any other cluster. So let me quickly go back to our ISD UI. So I will go back to home and I will click on this particular application that is configured. So currently we have two pipelines. One is blue-green day one and one is blue-green day two. So blue-green day one is obviously the blue deployment, the current deployment that is there. So in our case, I will just quickly run this pipeline so that it acts as the current deployment. And then I will go ahead and run the green deployment, and we will see how the traffic from blue can be redirected to green. And we have the latest or the new version running and the old version taken down. So let me go ahead and run this version. So the release version is v1, and this is the particular service that we want to run. And it's going to take about 15-16 seconds. We obviously have had some previous runs. So that's the reason you can see some of the previous executions available. And currently we see 2, but if we want, we can have as many as 200 executions if we want to see available in the particular screen. Our pipeline has run successfully. Now, how do we go ahead and access our web application? So as I had mentioned previously, that for our web application, we are using the popular Nginx Ingress web app. So I would go ahead to the Ingress YAML and collect the host name. Once I have the host name, I will go ahead and try to reach the same. So we can see that the Nginx has deployed to the blue environment. The version is currently v1. Now we can have an overview of the pipeline as well. We have configuration where we have passed the parameters. The default value is v1. Of course, we have options to change or to check different versions as well. For the time constraint and the complexity involved in blue-green deployment pipelines, we have fewer options as of now, just for the demo purpose, but these are not limited to these versions only. So, and then this is the previous ingress that is there to delete. This just does a cleanup of the blue deployment so that we can deploy blue again and again for demo purpose. And finally, it deploys to OpsMx QA namespace and the OpsMx deploy QA account. So previously from the setup page, I had shown that we have configured this account with this particular namespace, and also at the backend, we currently have this OpsMx QA namespace. Now we are using a text-based manifest here. And again, this is not limited. We can definitely go ahead and use GitHub, Bitbucket, and other artifacts of our choice. We can go to our infrastructure and see the v1 deployment happening. These are the features which is inclusive to ISD. And we can also go to deployments and see what kind of deployments that has happened. We see a v2 deployment only because we have previous deployments. the current deployment that has happened, we can check the date and the time that this is the current deployment that has happened right now. I will go back to our pipelines, and now I will go ahead and start our green deployment. So yes, the old release is or the current release is of course V1. Again, these names can be edited and changed. This is not limited, or this is not the uh, name that is that we are restricted to. A new release or the green version that we want to deploy to is V2. So let me go ahead and quickly run this pipeline. So it will currently deploy the new version, and the next stage would be to switch traffic to the new version. Now, here is a catch where we can take time, or we can have our own verification process to see once the traffic has been moved to green, whether the environment is stable, or if there are any issues or not. So if we see the environment is stable, definitely we can go ahead and accept and approve this new version. If we see the environment is not stable, we can reject and roll back to the previous version. So for, again, the demo purpose, I am going to accept and continue. And as I said, that uh, here is a option where if we could find out that there are problems with the new release, I could have rejected, and that would give me an option to go ahead and remove this old particular version. So for me, like, the current green version is stable, so I'm going to uh, approve removing the old version or blue version. So it will currently go ahead and delete the old version. And once the old version is deleted, it will designate the new version as the current version. Now let me go to the configuration of the pipeline. So here we have the rollback to the previous version. So if we would have failed, like if we wouldn't have wanted, wouldn't have approved, we would have rejected, the pipeline would have rolled back to previous blue version. Again, there are different ways of configuring this rollback and all. This is one of the straightforward way where if we do not approve, it will simply roll back to the previous blue version. Now, let me go ahead and go to our web application, and let me refresh the page and see which version we are currently on. And here we are. We are in the green version currently, where we can see our Nginx deployment V2 happening here. Let me get back to our infrastructure tab. We can go ahead and click on the pod that is available. So this is the 9974F82NQW pod that is currently running in OpsMx -QA namespace. So let me go ahead and see whether this is the actual pod that we are getting at the backend as well or not, ensuring that this deployment is happening in the Oracle Kubernetes cluster itself and not anywhere else. So let me do a quick get pods of the namespace. And if we see, we have a matching 82NQW, 82NQW, same pod that is in the UI, the same it's running at the backend as well. Now, the deployment has completed. The strategy, uh, you know, um, uh, I hope I've been able to take you through this particular deployment strategy briefly. And now, once coming back to our home screen, we can see some of the ISD features that we provide on top of this. So we can see how many deployments that has happened so far. for this application or other application as well. We can see the number of pipeline failures that has happened so far in our screen as well. We have an insight screen where it gives delivery insights, last 7 days to last 6 months, whichever, last 1 day, whichever you want to select, number of pipelines run, most failed pipelines, most successful pipelines that are available. We have usage insights as well. So again, it ranges from last 1 day to last 6 months. We have the audit page available. Again, because this pipeline has been run quite a number of times, so we can see most of the application that is available. It's the Blueground deploy app only and the pipeline. Now we have the success rate and the terminal or the failure rate available here as well. And we can go ahead and select, deselect any other options that we would like from here. So if I have to unselect service, we will have the same disappear. Pipeline audit again helps us to find out who has done or made changes to this pipeline. And policy audit is again our intelligent gate feature policies, which currently is not set up for any pipelines here. Hence, you don't see any executions. So had there been a setup, you would have seen executions available here. And from setup, again, we have all our cloud target integrations available from Oracle to Kubernetes to AWS, GCP, some of the common clouds that are used. We have different tool integrations available as well. So if we go to new integrations, we have all this available. And again, policies and other features that we can go ahead and configure. I hope this demonstration has been informative. See you all in the next video.